Boxing at its highest level is a competition of styles. It has always been that way in all historical fights. To defeat an opponent with an effective style, you must offer a set of effective countermeasures. Beterbiev's style is an effective countermeasure. He cuts off angles well and lands a lot of accented punches. Will this help him in the fight with Dmitry BIVOL? Or does Artur have something else in reserve? I will tell you that he does. Artur has a secret punch on the edge of a foul. You could say he sometimes uses dirty boxing. And if you are interested, watch our video until the end and find out what kind of punch it is. I will also tell you about Artur's other strength that will help him win the fights. Dmitry BIVOL represents technical, intellectual boxing. He can be considered a counter fighter who switches to a tempo fighter or a game fighter. Ideal conditions for Dmitry are working from a distance. He makes maximum use of the entire ring space, relying on his speed, mobility, and serial work. Such a fighter should be defeated by someone who has an opposite style, but at the same time has sufficient experience, professionalism, and endurance. And guys, in this confrontation, I'm on BIVOL's side and I'm sure that he will win. And why I'm so sure, you can see for yourself by watching my previous releases about this fight, where I sorted out everything and gave a bunch of well-reasoned arguments in favor of Dmitry. The links are in the description under the video, so please watch it. There is a lot of interesting stuff there. Artur BETERBIEV, whose style is based on power, constant pressure, and the ability to cut corners and take away space from his opponent, is the perfect antagonist for BIVOL. For this reason, many experts believe that the BETERBIEV-BIVOL matchup could become a boxing classic like Ali Fraser. So, Artur BETERBIEV has an effective style of confrontation, and this is a whole set of counteractions which will be discussed further. Decisiveness of the attack. BETERBIEV has smart aggression. Dmitry boxes well from afar. It is not easy for an opponent to get him at medium and close range if BIVOL does not want it. Even Saul Alvarez was convinced of this. While the Mexican was getting closer, he had to take dozens of punches from a distance. His block was completely pierced by them. Artur is also a pressure boxer. However, the Chechen's attack is swift, and his actions to close in are decisive. He closes the distance instantly, minimizing the opponent's ability to shoot at him from afar. BETERBIEV will not hang on his back leg for long periods of time, as Alvarez did. He looks for moments and creates them himself. Depriving BIVOL of his strength means depriving him of space, minimizing his preparation time, reducing his speed, and slowing down his reactions. Only a boxer like Artur BETERBIEV, with his ability to cut corners, get as determined as possible to get closer and cling to the middle and close range, can achieve all this. Physics vs technique. BETERBIEV is physically stronger than all his former opponents. At the moment, there is no fighter in the light heavyweight division who could compete with BIVOL in the technical aspect. With such a fighter, you need to box hard and cold-bloodedly, and Artur is a master of this. Even during his amateur career, BETERBIEV defeated more trained technical athletes thanks to his natural physical abilities and pressure, but constantly hanging over your opponent is too energy consuming. You need to make sure that your opponent gets tired. Punches to the body are a classic option, although Beterbiev creates a power work in the clinch, thanks to which he deprives opponents of energy much faster. Guys, how do you like Artur's skills? Impressive? It will be even more interesting. I'm waiting for your pros and cons in the comments. Please share your opinion. There will be something to discuss. Systematic beating. Beterbiev gradually wears down his opponents with powerful punches. Artur Beterbiev is the most effective knockout artist of our time, with 20 wins in 20 fights by knockout. But he is not a classic puncher and does not try to knock out with one punch or find a knockout in the first minutes. Fighters like Deontay Wilder or even Gervonta Davis spent rounds waiting for the moment to land that one punch to knock out their opponent. They lose rounds along the way and sometimes they wait too long. It is definitely a risky tactic. Artur does it differently. He systematically beats his opponent down. Beterbiev does not invest in all hits. Successfully disguises accented blows, and in the end, the accumulated tonnage makes itself felt. After the middle of the fight, the opponent cannot withstand the incoming damage, and when Artur feels this, he does everything to finish off the tired victim. As we can see, the tactics works 100%. None of Artur's 20 previous opponents heard the final gong. And of course, a little dirt. Beterbiev knows how to gracefully use illegal techniques. Artur Beterbiev is not the most technical or the cleanest fighter. Of course, he is not some kind of malicious rule breaker, but he has tricky punches in his arsenal that he throws on the verge of a foe. And such punches are the circling hooks. When Artur hits an overhand, as a rule, such hits fly almost to the back of the head. Beterbiev hits accurately and probably knows that punches behind the ear turn off their vestibular apparatus. Having received a dozen such defeats, the opponent's centers can no longer withstand normal resistance. And have you noticed such blows in Artur's fights? You can write your opinion in the comments. It will be interesting for me and others to read. The history of boxing remembers many legendary battles in which the difference in styles made the fight special. When a trained fighter with a natural talent for boxing confronts an aggressive opponent who compensates for the lack of technique with strength and pressure. Sometimes technique wins, other times pressure breaks skill, but often these are incredibly competitive fights. And I believe that the fight Artur Beterbiev-Dmitry BIVOL will also become a classic. Stay safe, stay tuned.